Welcome to The Formula. I'm Kelly McCarren. And if you've ever been frustrated by the duds that are some lip balms, you've got really dry lips, you pop on a lip balm and it doesn't work, this episode's for you because today I'm chatting to Kirsten, the founder of Lanolips. She's the entrepreneur who solved the mystery of chronically cracked lips by turning back to a childhood memory, Lanolin from her grandparents' sheep farm. Now she's built a global beauty empire, one perfectly moisturized lip at a time, and I can't wait for you to hear all about it. Let's get into it. Welcome to The Formula.
Thank you for having me.
I have to start with the most important question. What's your favorite Lanolips flavor and why?
Oh my God.
What's your favorite child, basically?
Okay, flavor would have to be Coconut 101, probably. Yes, that's the one that has probably been in my life for the longest that I go back to.
What about product?
Original 101, have never stopped using that. On our Everywhere cream, which is kind of small known cream, but it's one of our top sellers and has been forever online. It's just this beautiful creamy universal cream for everywhere.
Like balmy almost. It's so beautiful.
Just super creamy and I use it on my face every day.
Do you?
Yes. I've used it exclusively on my face, I'd like to say, for 9 years. It's amazing.
Oh my God. And your skin is incredible.
Thank you.
Let's take things back.
Okay.
I want to go back to that long haul flight where your lips were absolutely destroyed. Tell us what happened. Graphic detail. How bad were they? What had you tried? And how did that lead you back to those childhood memories?
Okay. No one's ever asked me that in that way. Thank you. So I was in a taxi on the way to the airport in Paris. I was just been married. It was after our honeymoon. And
did you honeymoon in Paris?
We honeymooned in the south of France.
Oh.
And I was going to the airport and I was thinking about the long haul flight ahead back home and my lips were dry already and I was like, oh, my lips are going to be so dry. And at the time, what I had been using was actually the Kiehl's, the #1 lip balm. It was a kind of a classic of the time and it's actually a nice balm. But it was of the era, very petroleum jelly based and it was just, I always felt like that it was okay and it felt good and it was cool looking, but my lips were still dry basically within a couple of hours. So, and then I literally remembered in a moment, I hadn't thought about it for, I would say 20 years, the Lanolin I used growing up as a kid. And my grandparents were sheep farmers and I spent my whole childhood holidays on their sheep farm and that smell of lanolin and the feel of it in the wool, and my grandmother would make jumpers from the wool and you could feel it there. And my dad always used it on us because he is a molecular scientist in DNA research and he knew that the molecular structure of lanolin was almost identical to human oil. So between the farm and my dad, I really had no choice but use pretty much lanolin my whole childhood. But then I left, and when I left, it was South Australia where I grew up. When I left, I just assumed that what you used growing up that was just always around was just really basic and probably wasn't that great. It was just kind of the thing you used growing up. So it just took me a long time to figure out, to kind of come full circle again. And I'd worked in beauty PR and I had my own PR agency and I tried everything and it was this full circle moment. And it really was this flash and I knew it and Lanolips came to my head and everything fell together in about a second.
Really?
Yeah.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Actually.
It's so funny thinking about stuff that we used when we were kids. My grandma would always rub camphor.
Oh, yeah, on your chest when you had a cold.
On my chest when I had a cold.
Yeah.
I wonder if that actually did anything.
I think it would because it I think the fumes kind of permeate. I don't know.
They're probably quite dangerous.
I think up the nose it would work. No, camphor would work.
Yeah. It's just funny, like things that
old wives
remedies that work.
Very true.
Everyone has a lip balm on them.
Yes.
It's like the one beauty product we all carry, yet so many of them are so useless. What do you think it is about the beauty industry that they keep getting such a basic product so wrong? Because like as someone who tests beauty products as part of my job, I can also attest to that there are just still, like it's 2025 and there are so many duds, and not just a dud, like, you know, all products work for some people and not the other, but you can tell if a lip balm's a dud.
Yes, and that's the truth in women. You can buy your first sale, right? You can get an influencer using it, everyone's saying it's great, and then you run out and buy it. But women aren't stupid. And you take it home and you use it and it's crap, or you use a skin cream, you might really desperately want to like it because the packaging looks so great or whatever. If it doesn't work, you're going to call bullshit eventually. And I think what's happened in the with lip balms in particular in the last 5 years with social media is they've become, for brands, they've become an entry point to recruit customers. So everyone's sort of gone, oh, I can, I've got my $40 skin cream, but I'll bring people in on the $20 lip balm, and then they make them aesthetically pleasing. So they become a flex. They become the aesthetic for the Instagram
that everyone wants.
They become collectibles. So that's what that whole teen thing happened. And the formulas became secondary. To make a lip balm is actually really cheap. Like you fill them with the top, I can tell you the top 5 viral lip balms I've seen out there, the top 5 ingredients, and all of them are pretty much the same thing. They are chemically derived esters, chemically derived, polybutane, whatever, that make them feel really beautiful. And I will agree, I've tried them. They're really nice when you first try them. But the proof in any proper lip balm is how they feel 2 hours later. And there's been a whole bunch of companies who have been really, really good at making them feel really beautiful for the first hour. And that's why you feel that they feel great, and then you're like, well, actually it's not that great after all.
Because if you're having to reapply something every hour.
Well, they're designed to have a slip and a cushion and a bounce, but they're not designed to actually hydrate. So, that is what it is. And sometimes people don't need deep hydration. They just want something that's pretty, and they want a tube that looks good. And there's absolutely always going to be a place for that.
But there's also a place for something that actually works. Like for me, I love a lip balm that I can put on before I go to bed. I'm not really a lip balm during the day type of gal, but I always put it on before bed. And the sign of a good lip balm is if it's still on in the morning.
That's exactly right. The sign of a good lip balm in the day is it should still be on after at least 2 hours. It should be feeling really good. And your lips should be left feeling healthy at the end, no matter what. And the sign of a good lip balm at night is that it's there in the morning. You've got great lips. You wear like the red lips, which you rock.
I don't often though, to be fair.
Don't you?
No. Like, often enough, but it's not like my look or anything. I love makeup, so I always try different things.
Yeah, but you've probably tried enough that you know what works.
Yeah, exactly. But this actually feels very dry, so I will need a lot of lip balm tonight.
Just dab a little bit on top. It will look the same, but it will make it feel more comfortable.
I don't know what it is about me, but I like even just eating, it ended up on my chin, it ended up on my teeth, and it was matte. So if I put lip balm on, it's going to end up all over my face.
Everywhere.
Which is I'm just a very messy person in general, I think. So the 101 ointment is now selling one every single minute. That's insane.
One every 30 seconds now.
Oh my goodness. That's insane.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Wow. When you first launched, did you ever think that could happen? Like, were you solving your own problem, or did you sense that there was this massive gap in the market?
I didn't sense it on a global scale. I knew that my focus was just to create beautiful lanolin balms and put it in Australian chemists. That was kind of my initial small thinking. And then as things grew and I realised that there wasn't any great lip balms in the rest of the world either, and we got retailer interest, that's when I started to think global. And also that's when I had to start to be really careful about making sure we stuck to what we were really good at and not try to do a little bit of everything and really water down who we were. And I think that's been our superpower. I mean, we've kind of moved through time really, really nicely. But no, I didn't ever aim for selling one every 30 seconds.
That's so cool.
Thank you.
Like, you're everywhere.
Thank you.
Your tagline is, we believe in it so much, we use it everywhere.
Yes.
And clearly your customers have taken that to heart. What's the wildest or most unexpected place you've heard of someone using your products?
That's a really good question. We actually did a Instagram post last week asking people to comment on their 101 uses, and we got 2,500 comments, which I was blown away at. 2,500 people were
people
telling
don't
us
comment on stuff anymore
where they're using it. And I'm trying to remember what the crazy ones were. I mean, I've had someone who's used it on their horse's hoof. They love their horse. The horse has got a cracked hoof and nothing is nourishing it. It's dry and cracked. I've definitely used it myself on Squeaky hinges indoors when I've been traveling.
I've never thought to do that. I'm so linear with like what I will think of. Yeah.
It works brilliantly. It works to nourish leather, like my handbag sometimes, little corners. I use it in my nose when I'm flying to stop my nose drying out. You know, when you're in the your cabin dries your nose out, and you kind of why you're more likely to get sick when you're flying.
I did not know that.
Yes, because your mucous membrane is there to protect you from absorbing bacteria and getting sick. And the minute the mucous membrane is dried away, you're far more susceptible.
Oh, I thought it was because you're in close proximity with people, and people are so gross, and
Plus that.
Ugh,
yes.
I still wear a mask on planes. I'm just like such a germaphobe these days.
If you want to stay healthy, I think that's a really great idea.
I just people are so gross. They cough all over you and
and it recirculates and all of that. Yeah, it's really disgusting.
I love that you still get really excited seeing your products in people's handbags. What was your biggest pinch me moment? Or, you can tell us a few times that you saw someone pull out their Lanolips and thought, oh my goodness. Because it's a great feeling. Like if I see someone on the train or walking around listening to one of my podcasts, I just it's so cool.
Certainly the big celebrities that have found us have been definitely a moment I had to stop and go enjoy this moment, like the Gigi Hadids, or like this huge K-pop star Jamin, or like Lindsay Lohan was DMing us for product recently, and that's really cool.
Come on, sis, you can afford it.
Anyway,
celebs are funny creatures, aren't they? Really?
Yeah. Very flattered, and she looks amazing.
Oh, she looks incredible. Whoever has done her face, well done.
Yes. But I went to a Sephora recently, which is like this big kind of festival that Sephora does. And I was there in the Middle East because we're in the Middle East, and Dubai, which is wild. I love Dubai. And I was on the stand, and they had a day and there was a lot of parents with daughters. And I had, I don't know, half a dozen at least of these 12-year-old girls just screaming when they saw Lanolips. And I was just like, you don't know who I am. And I'm watching this. So it was such a pure moment for me that I didn't. It was just seeing their reaction to the brand was it was very touching for me. Just seeing that we've touched these kids on the other side of the world. They don't even know who I am. It was great. I love that.
That's so lovely.
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. It's so magical. You're a working mum who's made flexible workplaces for parents non-negotiable. Can you talk to us about this and why it's so important to you personally?
Selfishly, it was for me to begin with. I launched, my youngest was 1 and my eldest was 3. So I didn't want to have one rule for me and one rule for the staff. So, and I also believe in women can do more than one thing at one time. You don't have to be in the office 9 to 5 strictly. It can be more flexible. You can make things work both ways. And I felt really passionate about making it work for me and also making it work for my team. And this was 15 years ago. There was an amazing amount of these really smart women in Australia who just weren't working because they couldn't afford to. The childcare was more expensive than the time away from their kids. And when you take that time away from the kids, they're like, well, emotionally it's not worth it. Financially it's not worth it. So what I wanted to do was create an environment where these really smart women could come back to work. It would be worth their while. They could still have and go and see the teachers when they need to, do the 3 p.m. pickups if they wanted to, and have a fulfilling career and feel really useful and really get that fulfillment out of working as well. So we've continued to do that. Half our workforce has probably been a working mum at some point.
Yeah.
And it's a standard now. I mean, COVID really changed that game. We were doing it from the beginning, but it's so great now to see these women have the opportunity to do something with their brain if they want to.
Yeah. It's so wild that there was a period where it was expected that everyone was to be in an office. It's like,
yeah, or just you don't talk about your kids, or you pretend they don't exist, or it only works one way in the office way only. I really felt that there has to be. I didn't see any negatives for a company and making it better for a woman to do both. In fact, I think we benefited. We got these amazing brains that no one was using.
Exactly.
Because they're at home waiting for the kids to go to school.
And also, when you create a beautiful work environment for people, they're more likely to want to stick around and grow with the business. So
correct.
Which is
I don't
always
think we've
good.
ever had a working mum leave our company. We've got people who've worked for me for 9 years, 12 years,
oh wow,
10 years.
That's
it's a win-win. It's an absolute win-win situation.
I never understand why that question isn't asked more by people when they are interviewing at a place. Like, what is your staff retention like? Because it says so much about the workplace. You've championed diversity from day one, saying it's 100% on us. How have you navigated making real change versus just, ticking boxes, virtue signaling, those things that a lot of people are doing?
You have to be brave. For example, 5 years ago, maybe a little bit longer, data would show if you put a picture on social and it showed a traditionally attractive, mostly white woman, and then you post on social a darker skinned woman, you'd get more likes than the white woman.
Yeah.
That's just how it works.
As someone who's managed socials
Correct.
before,
the data, and
yeah,
then
the data doesn't lie.
Go, well, that's what the data says, that we have to keep doing that. It's a business. But then you're perpetuating it. You're showing the world that these are what you think is attractive, and then you're training people that that's what is attractive, where it's your responsibility as a brand to go, we're going to push the boundaries and we're going to train people, and eventually that will even out because people are more used to seeing diversity. And I think right now we're in a much different space than we were 5 years ago. And it's not that abnormal anymore to see all the different skin tones because people are trained and they're clicking and they're liking those photos now because they're used to it.
With socials, it's the argument that I would have is that it doesn't cost you any money to post that photo. So who cares if it's not meeting your KPI of likes or whatnot, because it actually isn't a cost to the business.
No, exactly.
It's only positive.
It's only positive, but certainly when people are judged on social media performance, it can be very tempting.
Of course, but then that's on the business.
That's on the business.
What
it's on your, and I do think in the beauty industry in particular, we define the ideas of beauty, or not so much with social, which is great to be honest, but certainly billboards, magazine ads, that was the you kind of defined the Estee Lauder aesthetic. So it's your job, it's your responsibility to take that under your wing and change it if there's a problem, and there was, and it's better now though.
Your fan base spans from celebrities to everyday people. What's it like? What has it been like watching from the idea in a taxi to becoming this global empire?
Very surprising. But also there's been an enormous amount of hard work from me, but also my amazing team. It's very rewarding. It's and exceptionally kind of satisfying to see that you're helping people, to see that you've built a brand that lasts. Most people don't know who I am, which is great. They just know Lanolips, which is great. A brand that's lived beyond me, the brand that's Aussie taken to the world. A lot of us people overseas don't even know it's Aussie. It's very, very satisfying to have built something that I hope will last beyond me and will be like a forever brand. So when I die, it's still around.
You're such a good example of that, actually, that so many people think that these days they've got to go on TikTok and do dances,
do the founder stuff, and
and it's you don't have to. You can just create an incredible brand with great products, and you'll still be able to stand on your own feet.
Yeah,
I know that you do some stuff, but you don't spend all your time on TikTok doing it.
No.
I just see so much of that these days, and it looks exhausting. Because how are you finding time to work on the business?
I wonder that myself, but I think there's a lot to be said for that founder-led vibe. Certainly has its place, but there's a million different ways to get things done. It's just not been my way.
Exactly. It's good to know that it's not the only way.
It just means I can relax at night and not have to make a TikTok video before bed.
Yeah.
I would prefer that.
Yeah. So finally, if Lanolips was a person, how would you describe their personality?
Oof. Okay, so our customer's very pragmatic, but also loves beauty and loves trends like the next person. So I would say she's a lawyer. She's glamorous. She can buy the best. She buys the trend stuff, but she also has her Cartier and her Hermes handbag. And fundamentally, that's stuff with the practical things that she knows does the job, but she buys the fluffy stuff too.
Oh, I love that. She sounds fun.
Yeah, we've always had this doctor, lawyer, nurser vibe.
Yeah.
When we do when we check in on who our audience does, lawyers, doctors and nurses is always in the top 3. Which is great because that's the kind of girl I love.
Yeah.
That real smart, sassy,
so
intelligent, but not boring.
Definitely not boring.
Never boring. Sorry.
Well, I love that, and we really appreciate you sharing your story here today.
Thank you for having me, Kelly. I love your podcast. It's so fun.
We have a lot of fun here.
We've
talked about lots of your products over the years, so
thank you. Yes, I appreciate that too. Thank you.
That's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed watching this episode of You Beauty, and I'll be back next week with another delightful guest for the formula.